ISIS is a very big threat that can be taken care of with boots on the ground and people. It has to be eliminated, because otherwise it is attracting more and more people from not just the Middle East, but outsiders, Muslims who come, and it touches something very deep in the consciousness of the Muslim mind, and that is they shall all live in one state ruled by a caliph and under Sharia. And whether, in fact, they don't necessarily agree what that means, but that is what Daesh stands for, and that's what it's selling to the world.
Do you believe that President Obama said that the agreement with Iran that called to cancel all the sanctions, it's good for Israel?
The agreement with Iran is bad for not only Israel, and gets worse and worse day by day, but it's bad for the entire world, because people see America giving in and getting nothing in return. America therefore appears weak. And when America, which for better or for worse used to be and still should be the policeman of the world, if it's not prepared to fill that role and to stand up for poor and downtrodden friends, and its allies especially, everybody is going to run from America. This is a bad deal and getting worse.
Do you think should Israel trust United States government?
I think that the American people is very, very pro-Israeli. What the American government is doing vis-a-vis Iran is terrible. It is dangerous. It's dangerous for the world. It's dangerous very much for Israel. Israel, it says in the Bible, is a people that stands, it lives alone. Israel must take care of itself. The American people are very, very much with Israel. The American people's love for Israel and admiration for Israel is very, very strong, and only getting more so. They, by and large, do not agree with this agreement with Iran. The American people understand the world very simply, and I mean that in a positive way. They understand that countries like Iran, governments like Iran, not the people of Iran, want to destroy not only Israel, but they want to destroy with their new missiles, their long-range missiles, that they can also destroy America in the long run.
We see all the dangers that we have here in Israel, and we see in Syria every day they kill a lot of people, and it seems like that nobody cares in the world.
Unfortunately, you're right. And you could say there are two standards. There's a standard for Jews and there's a standard for everybody else. It's not just Syria. It's all over the Muslim world. It's all over Africa. They talk a lot and do nothing. Look at what, for example, what the President Sisi in Egypt has done of killing terrorists galore. It is also destroying all these tunnels. If a Jew touches one hair on the head of somebody in Gaza, there's an international investigation, and the Americans don't seem to be protecting Israel. But it's okay for President Sisi to do that. It's okay for other places in Africa. It's okay for all sorts of problems in the Far East to do things. And they don't say anything. Right now, in China, the Chinese government has forbidden Muslims to fast during Ramadan, and the world hasn't said anything. Imagine that in Israel, that the Israeli government would forbid Muslims to fast on Ramadan. The world would go crazy. There were many ups and downs historically. In the past, there was a policy of no public differences, not a paper-thin difference between the two, between America and Israel publicly. There were a lot of crises in the past. I don't know where President Obama is getting his advice, but Jewish history is filled with trouble. And the moment you threaten us, which is in essence what is happening, the Jew gets scared. And he doesn't feel secure. So if Obama and company want Israel to make concessions, the best way to do it is to hug Israel, to make it feel secure. It's doing the exact opposite. But there's one reason, and that is very important. Obama could be also understood as a great gift to Israel. Why is that? Because he has proven to Israel that, yes, it has a big brother, but sometimes the big brother is not reliable. And in the end, Israel must rely on itself. It's sort of like a teenage child growing up and seeing, oh my God, I really can take care of myself. Israel is on its own when it comes to the administration of the United States. Israel must defend itself. And the American people love Israel. And they, for sure, will be with Israel, irrespective of what President Obama says.
So a lot of people are trying to scare us and tell us that we have a big crisis between Israel to United States government. Is it really true that we have a real crisis?
The American government has three branches, and they're equal branches. The Congress and the Senate is passionately pro-Israel, very strongly pro-Israel. That the administration is not, is an aberration. It's not normal. A lot of times, in my opinion, journalists say all these things, and I hear Israeli news, and I live in Washington, and I can't believe some of the things that they say, because they lost at the ballot box here, and they're trying to get what they want politically in ways that they failed to get from the people of Israel at the ballot box. No, I don't think that there is a crisis between America and Israel. I think that the administration is trying to provoke one for whatever reasons. But that doesn't mean there's a crisis between, certainly not Congress, and certainly not the American people. They admire Israel.
Dr. Rhode, thank you very much for this interview.
You're welcome.